higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land. Yes, what we have to do. Money can't help you. Rich man of feeling. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land. All together now. Of the fittest shall survive. The strongest of the strongest stay alive. A weak heart shall take a swallow die. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times so tough, oh yeah. Dirty gets so tough. We never get enough. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land, yeah. People, what is the cause of all the trouble in the world today? Tell me. Things and times so hard. No peace, no day higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land. Yes, what we have to do. Money can't help you. Oh no, rich man of feel it too. The vengeance is on the land. The vengeance is on the land, my brother. It is up to people shall survive. Yeah, yeah. Strongest of the strongest stay alive. A weak heart shall take a swallow dive. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Live with love, my brother. Yeah. In the world, things and times so hard. No peace, no day higher. The vengeance of Jaja, it must be on the land. It must be on the land.
Yes, greetings, things and times stay with you. We want to talk about mysticism. We want to reflect on England monarchy and yes, simple things. Yes. During the 50s, 1950, England was in Kenya, and 1.5 million Kenyans was locked up in concentration camps by the British forces. And a great deal of atrocities were inflicted on African Kenyans. Because some people that don't know so that Kenya is Africa. So we have to term it and bring some light on what we're really referring to, or whom we're referring to. Now, this is England. This is the administration that Queen Elizabeth were the torchlight of. You know, we're going to just keep it natural, you know. These atrocities and much more were inflicted all across the continent, but Kenya in particular, even in South Africa, but Kenya in particular, they corral the people in Kenya. And Britain had a divide and conquer strategy. They would divide people, they segregate people. And when things not work good for them, they would put those people against one another. And naturally visualize the outcome, because they had the armed forces. You see that gun them call a Gatling gun, and the cannon and so on. Britain used them things on Africans. I thought the administration of the authority that Elizabeth, the royal house, was everybody within the administration carried out the wishes of the royal house. Better way to put it. There's no time where we can find that the royal house rejected any event. So when we said last week that this is not a dictatorialship, it isn't, because it has an administration, and the administration acts upon what the interests of the heads of those administration and the heads of the country, which is called the government. And the government converse with the monarchy as to what they're proposing and so on. And the monarchy never draw them back. You know what I mean? Sometimes the monarchy is themselves that make suggestions and so on. So we're talking of over 70 years, right? And my mother and my father can recollect. Yeah. one is coming from 1927 and one is coming from 1936. But how much mileage has the Africans in the diaspora have on their clock? And how much, with that mileage, how much historical, factual evidence have we been able to retain to charge Europe for atrocities within slavery? Because after what they call slavery, you had colonization. So it was servitude slavery. Them control not we the subjects in the Caribbean and in the Americas. Then went underland the continent and took control and split the place up, and each person took an area, each country took some areas. This is England, this is France, this is Germany. But the royal household that people looked upon, does look upon and has looked upon through to the death of Queen Elizabeth II, like it's a dynasty, a matrimonial dynasty of love and all forms of pleasantries. That's because no one, most people do not know anything about the British Empire. And the British people, because it salutes them, and you say empire, and them get to understand that means conquering so much of the world, the greater portion of the world. For them, that's winning the World Cup. That's a trophy. So you can't, as human beings, you can't fault those who would react like that. But pray say let it be known through information, education, what happened. Then you will see the true nature of human beings. For there will be some for, and there will be some that will find it appalling. And we could have now been in that position where we are saying that the world that we want to be in, such things should never, ever happen again. So even the youngsters of Charles, young people, the people of Charles's and Princess Anne age, they are none the wiser in relation to this information, unless some of them did history and chose to do British modern or European modern history, centralizing on England France and Germany are England and France. Because you can pick out a Pacific area or region or time. But the educational manuals that would be and has been available to many people does not declare England as a villain, France or Germany, no part of Europe, none of them as villains. They only show that talk that when them isolate them one another, after they were all doing a lot of laboratory work, a lot of explorational work with each other, as in England, Germany, and France and others, and then England back away from Germany, and then the propaganda work that Germans are devils, evil and terrible. And Britain and Germany were in the eugenics programs. And Africa again was used as guinea pigs in relation to these pursuits. How much people recognize or can recognize or know or have that or can gather up that information? And this is England, their participation, their involvement, their pursuit. Yet still, racism lives and strives. But our Mau Mau and Kikuyu peoples in Kenya suffered great genocide. But in England, in Europe, them call the other one an Holocaust. This is human beings. These are peoples that want superiority and took it. They didn't just want someone to give them took superiority. So there were millions of people in this country and across the earth paying homage to the loss of a life, which was Queen Elizabeth II of England. Now, paying homage to a life that God award all of us is respectful. But knowing not what they were responsible for, or partly responsible for, or were involved within, it's just like saying the two wars that Europe had were justified, and hooray, hooray to the victors. And all is wrong because we're humans. And the disagreements, alleged disagreements that they all had, it was about who's going to control what. And they killed hundreds, thousands, millions of themselves in that pursuit. Now, knowing that there was the first, they still weren't contented with whatever the outcomes and whoever were the referees. There was a second. Now, in this second one, the colonial lands, the continent of Africa, and the region called Asia, India, and Pakistan and Bangladesh, and them places there. England had us, or them, we, those peoples, aiding them. Millions, hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives, not knowing why they were doing something unwillingly because of the power of this nation called England. And Elizabeth family were in charge as the monarchy. Now, those people who deal with mythologies, as in scriptures, whether it's the Torah, which you don't have, whether it's the Injil, which you don't have. So those two are called Bibles, or Bible. And whether it's the Quran, which we have. You should know that human life is important, is valuable. So true to the mythology that was conjured up by the wisest within these monarchies and dispatched across the earth in areas where we call the British Empire, the people were led to believe, understand that they were supporting God's family on earth. But God's family on earth, many who were killed, some did not get their names put on their caskets. And the majority did not get royal salute, as in burial, being buried. They weren't even permitted to be buried along with others that did not look like them. This is mental atrocities. A year before the COVID, there were such documentaries because there were remembrance. And there were peoples that weren't British. There were Africans and African Caribbean and Asians who were uncovering the misappropriation of actions, humanitarian misappropriation of actions by England, not recognizing, failing to recognize all of those subjects that had to participate and represent and defend whatever they were about during those days in a war. And yet still, the administration of this country would not name those fallen servants. They wouldn't name them. And they wouldn't even permitted them to be buried in what they call a military send-off, a military what you call the place where you put dead? Cemetery. All Africans were put somewhere other than what they recognize as the military cemetery. This is England under the watchful eye of Elizabeth's mother. Yes, she never come here by herself, you know. And she had father too, obviously. So, we just a scratch cross there because so many things are being said to me at the wrong time, and so many things should have been said when she was much alive, well and strong, pertaining to the things that she stood over that afflicted and persecuted us. But we didn't do it. We didn't do it. So it's spilt milk. I'm only doing this to say, well, you know what happened? I'm not a rose breadfruit, neither am I a coconut. And I do know and was exposed in this country to its history. Yes, in this country, not somewhere else. And areas that intrigued me, I was able to dive in. Not the deep end, the shadow, and keep going and keep going. And it's appalling. Now, if you have a mindset of vanity or mindset of power or mindset that, is we against everybody, that type of competitive competition, like, you would celebrate it. Anybody would. Because it's your team, your country, you understand, versus anybody. And you want to come out on top. Nobody go want to come out second. Nobody go want to lose. Think about the lose thing. So when we hear British people, politicians and all of them talk about human rights and all of that, it's a joke, mate. You get me? It's a joke. All my life, I can't take on a serious. On a lie, too good. Serious thing, when I lie, too good. On a make lie, fear seeming deep. So you forget to question the persons, because the way them tell what them a tell. You just dismiss anything, any inquiries, any queries that you have. And they're good at it. So mysticism is what they've been teaching black people, African people, from yesteryears. And then won't stop do it. And we expose ourselves to it. Because we do nothing else but them. The mysticism of European people, especially England, is what the black man and the African man knows. And that's what's got us. So may God shower his mercy and blessings, which he will, on Elizabeth, her family, all of them. The living, the ones that pass, and may God have mercy and blessing on my family. Yes. So, every so often I go put something up there so my children, my grandchildren, my brethren and sisterins and all those others people outside can see. But I'm not going to want to talk about Elizabeth. Because I don't want nobody to talk about my grandmother and my grandfather in a derogatory sense. And we do know that they didn't do nothing. they didn't commit no atrocity in them life. They had a very good innings and they were very sincere. We don't know what them do when they was children. But as far as growing up and teaching us and taking care of us, oh yes, them had a very good innings and so on. So they would have a gracious innings because they never control no nation and they never control no army or no mafia and they never had no guns and never killed anybody. And yo, I don't even feel to them tell lie. Because you see why my grandfather and my grandmother, if them know something, you ask them, and them not supposed to tell you anything, them not answer no. So nobody can say that them tell you, say, listen, don't bother me. They would not answer. You could have stayed there till the cow jump over moon. Them not talk to you, you know. You're not getting a peek out of them. So then raise with the same way. If there's something that you know you're not supposed to say, nobody never tell you to say anything. Keep your mouth closed. So nobody can see you say. And if there's something that even you like, but it's not yours, nobody will give you, don't take these two and that God gave you and take it or touch it. You understand? So we come up with a very, very sincere, strict family. Make one know that, the whole world know that story. Because these people who lust after other people's riches and wealth and everything, them do it because them had power. Them see themselves as a powerful set of people. And them had soldier. Yeah, them had gun. You know what I mean? Them had military. Everything them tell about people that people are dictators, Saddam Hussein and this body and that body, Ayatollah and rare and so forth and so forth. And them, them do it already. But if you catch somebody that come up that rank, them say, yo, we have to dispose of them quick. And America is not somebody else, you know. A brother and sister them. A one family that them left here and go across there and murdered, wipe out enough people off that land. Yes, and eventually them fight one another and them say, yo, you see this thing and now work? So them come to a one arrangement and them take the land and then govern themselves. And them have this, what them call this? Neutral a relationship or whatever. And that's it. So, I always want to know what to Cain, because you had Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel. And Cain was banished from around his mother and father, and the rest of his brother and sister. So, Cain allegedly was the first person that spilled blood on this land, this earth that we inhabit, human beings. So I want to know we Cain there. So when you see brutality, when I see brutality like this, I read about brutality like this, may I say these are Cain followers, if not Cain seeds. Mythologies, here we go again. So we're going to come back on the mental discipline and sympathy. Why sympathy? Britain has a way of expounding sympathy and them catch you in the web of mental deception. England. Yo, YouTube, don't take me off, you know, because that's true what I'm saying. They have a way of doing this thing, man. Mental indiscipline to sympathy. Them talk to people cordially about everything. Them used to put this Jesus in them talking, you know, a whole heap. And it catch you because you see them put themselves as a representative of God on earth. You think so a Rome? Nah. A England. They make themselves big in everything they do. So everyone look at it correctly and look at it morally, not even morally, just look at it masculinely. You say, well, you know something? The people them smart, aya. But when you look at it morally, you say, yo, something wrong with that. And then when you look at what happened to us and still is happening to us, then you say, wow, why we never wake up? And that may go come back with when you deal with the sympathy and the mental discipline. What happened to us? Why we haven't dismissed all of that? Because they raised us. You can't, you know, a person divorce them wife or them husband. Even though you're separate from the person, you always reflect on the goodness and the great times and everything that you and that person had, you know. No matter how rough the court case did I go on, and no matter who take what more than you feel say them should have, you know. You see that nature, that God, that given sympathy within our nature, within our soul, that's something there. We always go back to it, you know. And whether it's one day after the divorce or 6 years after the divorce, you find see them two persons, right, I try reach one another, you know. Even if them commit adultery, cause both of them might get married again to someone else, but them have a secret fling. What am I talking about? The deception of the human nature preyed upon the ones who've instilled mythology in our being. Why is it mythology? You will hear much later. So here we go again, Elizabeth. We are bow out now.
just a minstrel. In life we're so far apart, but royal queen, I see love in your heart. I love you too, Your Majesty. Is this really true? These things I ask of you. Oh, Majesty, could you really care for me? Minstrel queen with no king. I'm a minstrel, suppose, but could this really mean anything? As long as you love me, and it won't be so hard. As long as I see love in your heart, I love you too.
Dipper Town, and I got to make it be known. Big up the one like Roddy Bone, Ochipeng, and the Black Roses massive.
You don't know, soldier, where you're father. You know? Yes, man. Oh, no, no. Queen Majesty, may I speak to thee?
society. Ooh. I'm not a king, just a minstrel. But my song to you I sing. Though just a minstrel, our worlds are so far apart. Royal Queen, I see love in your eyes. Your eyes, I love you too. Is it really true? These things I ask of you. Oh, Your Majesty, could you really care for me? Though just a minstrel, our worlds are so far apart. Royal Queen, I see love in your eyes. Your eyes, I love you too. The royal queen, so pretty and fine. Every night and day, man, you step on me mind. More than one in a million, cause you're one of a kind. I will keep you in front and never leave you behind. Royal queen.
Oh, well, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yes. I'm a man who wants to live upright and shine my love and my gospel light. 'Cause I believe in love and righteousness. So I keep chanting that our love can manifest. There's a thing in me that keeps on telling me I must move on. And you know it's what I got dreams of eternal life. Well, yes, I got dreams, yeah, Jesus paradise. Oh, yeah, yes.
Yes, we just give every day and Luciana, you understand? Majesty, I tell you. Can't have a chat with her now because she gone. Yeah. Bust this one here, star. Come. Now the I call Big Youth, Jayot. Come. Listen.
Give praises to His Majesty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
I feel
will
it,
see
they
after
go
that.
tell them feel low it. Here we go!
Give praises to His Majesty.
Yeah, on the screen there, you see lives that were taken by Her Majesty's government law officials here in London. See? That's what you're seeing. And the brother in the middle is just what they. The police them shot and kill him. everybody there, we haven't received any form of legal justice to this time. See? And that's just 19 about in London. And there are many, many, many more. Too much. Very little done from any political party or any administration from Her Majesty's officials, which they all are the same. So, where is the legal justice for African people? You know, black people, where is it? Okay.
He that dwelleth in the secret. Give praises to his majesty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the.
And some people probably say, we are criminals. Not one of them. Not one of them were criminals. Let that be understood clearly. Not one of them violate or dealt with criminality, causing the police them to catch them and yeah, you understand? My family up there, sir, Roger Sylvester, criminal. Smiley, Cockney translation, criminal. The only thing that him do is chat the Cockney and reach number one and develop a life for him and his family. You understand? Serious thing. So if that hurt the nationals, so what did the others do? What did Jai Gardner do? That them had to tape up her face and everything. Yeah, there are females there too. Wicked and terrible. What an administration.
Give praises to his majesty. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord God, Jah Rastafari is my refuge and my fortress, my giant in him will I trust.
Go on, big yo.
Only he shall deliver thee from the snares of the fowl and from the knives and pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the horror that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation.
Chanted.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angel charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against the stone. Thou shalt tread upon the young lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under your feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name.
Chanting.
He shall call upon me and I will answer him.
Yo,
I will be with him in the time of trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Chant it, big yo.
Lord Jah Rastafari is my light and my salvation, of whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?
Teach.
Cause when the wicked evil, mine enemies and my foes came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumble and fall. No one shall encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. No war shall rise up against me, in this will I be confident.
Teach.
One thing have I desire of the Lord God, Jarastafari, and that will I seek God.
Chant it.
That I may dwell in the house of Jah all the days of my life.
Chant it.
To behold the beauty of John, to inquire in his temple. Cause in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret places of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. I will sing, yea, and I will sing praises unto Jah. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice, have mercy also upon me and answer me.
Make it be known, big you.
When thou seek thy face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Jah, will I seek. Put not thy servant away in anger. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O Jah of my salvation.
Hey!
Cause when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take I up. Teach me thy way, O Jah, and lead me in a plain path because of my enemies. Cause false witnesses is risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelties. I've fainted unless I believe to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on John, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine hearts. Wait, I see Angela, Sila, Jaja.
See, original African people we are. You understand? In the diaspora. You understand? So that was our Zika in a Naya Binge. Big youth. And now we are seek repatriation. Listen. I remember enough we never go to school, you know. And them things we do to survive over the years with all the great atrocities that them are give away at home and abroad, and we still forward through. Listen.
The living is rough, the going is tough.
Proper things.
Here in Babylon, they hide the truth away from the youth. Down here in Babylon, brothers killing brothers just for fun. People working hard in the burning sun. I still feel the chains around my feet, and the cry of poverty from people that we meet. Tribal war won't solve the problem. Let your hands and hearts be pure and clean.
And also, from music to play them on the F already.
Let go big chore, big chore, big chore, big
Yeah, what they will Scratch, otherwise known as Black Heart, otherwise known as Lee Perry. Come. Come on, Scratch.
The living is rough, the going gets tough. Down here in Babylon, they hide the truth
away from the youth down here in Babylon.
Black Art Studio.
Brothers killing brothers just for fun. People working hard in the burning sun. I still feel the chains around my feet and the cry of poverty from people that we meet. Tribal war won't solve the problems. Let your hands and hearts be pure and clean.
Now hear this! You little spit and chew son boy! You must think you can go by experience I will work! You must think I saw King Selassie I get him crowned! No, way! You got to work hard for it! Now bring your little old bad sound and pull it down! Come with it!
Oh yeah. The living is rough, the going is tough. Down here in Babylon, they hide the truth away from the youth. Down here in Babylon,
Mix it, Father.
brothers killing brothers just for fun. People working hard in the burning sun. I still feel the chains around my feet and the cry of poverty from people that we meet. Tribal war won't solve the problem. Let your hands and hearts be pure and clean. If you want to enter in the promised land.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm me a say now. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, if you don't have love in you, you got nothing at all. Cause remember, love conquer it all, love conquer everything. The Ogle said that. Whoa, yeah.
My heart is filled with grief when I remember, how they've taken our foreparents from their homeland. Yes, shipped to every corner of this earth. Boy, bound in shackles and chained like their beasts. Yes, they would be spanked with many stripes by the master. Boy, if they should ever not do just what they're told. It really grieves my heart to see it's your brutality. Yes. Whenever I recall my history, it grieves my heart to see how they treated our foreparents in the days of slavery. Slavery and brutality, that's all they give me. Whoa, that's all they give me. Yeah, I know. Oh, no.
See? So when we play music like that now, some people get frightened because them lyrics, they're too tough. Anyhow, we are go back now to the sympathy and the mythology of these people. So true to the education that we've all received from the colonial empire called England, under the watchful eye of Elizabeth I and Elizabeth II. We all learnt theological understanding And that theological understanding was part of what we can call today Caucasian supremacy. For the worship, fellowship was a European Caucasian. The texts were from Europeans. The mental discipline were portrayed by Europeans. The historical events were about Europeans. So one shouldn't be surprised that the psychology that captivate the Africans in the diaspora is white European supremacy. We think it, we dream it, but it's myths. So it would take some real, not scholars, but thinkers, people who pride themselves on critical analysis, critical thinking, haven't been there, because none of us have escaped that form of education, not one. We've all received it, and we still are receiving it, no matter how we contest, because we haven't got anything in place for ourselves. So that's where we are. That's where we are. We not talk English and maths, we are talk about mental influencing. For a person, they're kindergarten, and you hear about Jesus, and you see Jesus, and you see angels and all of these things. It don't look like me. It don't tell anything, any form of significance or reality in relation to we, the black people, the African people. So anyone who want to criticize that and say, no, you got it wrong, reflect on yourself. I got it wrong for me, I haven't got it wrong for you. Because when you check yourself, you'll see from kindergarten, even to college and university, same thing. You can't slip. You will slide, but you cannot slip. We're all of us, in England, in America, in the Caribbean, wherever we are in the diaspora, even at home on the continent. Elizabeth. So with the sympathy, and sometimes them use apathy, but with the sympathy, it would appear that they're so genuine. So them hold on to our mental characteristics and deal with our emotions. Yeah, and steer us however they would like to. They will steer us however they would like to. So the only thing we were left with, and still are left with, is our morals. And even that, they have found a way of polluting. Because look at our young women, and look at us. Hear us, how we present ourselves to our females, around about them, and what we have them doing. And then we have the audacity to look our mothers in their faces and tell them, say, how much we cherish them and love them. But yet still we are dealing with a female out there in a degrading, despicable manner. But that is not something that we conjured up, you know. That is the strings of psychology that's being used to mentally influence us. But how much of us are really in tune to these myths or these mythologies? Because they're very subtle. And this country, this administration, they have the tolerance. They have the tolerance. They even have the patience. Because they don't rush things. They don't rush through it. Because remember, we depend on them. So once them got you into that sector of dependency, you can't do anything with someone. Anything. You can even tell them jump off a cliff. They wouldn't think about it. They would look at it and they will convince themselves that they have the strength and the fortitude to do such a thing. And they're going to strategize how to do it. And they will do it. They will dead too. And another fool, you see what I'm saying now? Fool, would follow them, you know, and say, he or she should have done this. And they will find the same thing. So that's how them steer us. Because we're not ourselves. So this is where the administration of the monarchy is very powerful. It's not the one person. It's the administration. Get what I'm saying, man. It's the administration. Every human being on this earth will die. So Elizabeth have shined for all her time. But what is significant to me and to many people in the earth is that so much people want it and have and are still doing, paying homage to Elizabeth. Yes. And we, African Caribbean and Africans in the diaspora and Africans at home, should only stop and think like, what did we not do? Not what we have done, you know. What did we not do? Because we lacking. It is shown up to me, mental discipline. As a Muslim, I'm saying, leave the people with their racism and deal with ourselves. Know ourselves. God wants us to strive for excellence as human beings. So anything that inhibits or prohibits us from that should be left alone. So racism, injustices, and all of that can be sidetracked. We don't have to meddle in it. The only thing that meddle in mess or being on this earth that we know that meddles in mess is a pig. A swine plays in their waste. Yeah, you see people that keep dog as pet. A dog will take its moral behavior and go somewhere, look for somewhere to ease themselves. They're not going to ease themselves in the space that they are going to dwell within or around. A dog, even a cat, but a pig, no, star. a pig will play in their waist and anybody else's waist. It just, that's what it does. My point is this. We know say something's evil, we know something is wrong, we know something is foul, we know what is abuse. So we not play with it. We have too much important things to do in terms of worshiping. So I come to the spiritual side of a human being. Every human being have this, you know. So all we have to do is go inward into our own reservoir and seek excellence as human beings. And that's the nature that God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has created all of us with. But we have to discover it. And to discover it in this wicked world is to avoid evils and mythologies. A man come tell the next man say that because him know this, that, and him realize that I don't know this, that all of a sudden he is the reincarnation, and I might use their wording, of this Jesus Christ. And once I listen that, because they're not deaf, and I follow that. Over here now, we are saying, yo, Elizabeth is gone now, and and these people are validating themselves based on a mythology that they got out of the same classroom. But now them say, you know something? I want to spin the thing around on the white boy and paint his thing black, but I'm going to claim it myself. These type of mythology is also sticking us. And there's no excellence in that. It creates problem and it creates division, because we're not dealing or looking and examining ourselves. The human being needs to be balanced. The body of the human being and the mind of the human being needs to be balanced. And everything else I've said so far, there's an imbalance there. And that's design. It's not mythology, it's just design. So I am advocating that we get into our own comfort zone. Reflect on the past events of ourselves. And then you find that the best thing to do now is to disconnect from all those things. Whether you got a partner or whether you have a wife, or if you even don't, or even if you have children. It's not a hard job. It's not hard work. It just takes patience and tolerance. First, develop a good eating habit. And some sincere brethren and sisters that's going to speak about life and the excellence of life. Not the politics, not what white supremacy and rare have done and are doing. How the hell we know what they're doing? We're not part of their club. We're not in the administration. But yet still, so much of us know everything about the people them. And we don't know nothing about ourselves. So I'm not with that. The mental institution that God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has given me, supposed to be reflective on me and my associates and my family. That's my government. And left alone, we should administrate that. With what? Truthful information. So now we get balanced by spiritual enlightenment. Not one of them things that somebody said that them is the reincarnation of Christ come to them Jesus come to them, or Muhammad come to them, or Zoroastrian come. No, none of them rubbish there. You understand? Serious thing. Social dependency has got a lot of people, have turned a lot of people into mental slaves. Social dependency. Because you go back into the same thing, and I try to say that you're not involved in something, and try to justify to ourselves that we are free. Social dependency. And in the diaspora, we are consumers, number one. We don't have no institution, number two. We don't have no health care, and so on, number three. The most important things of survival as human beings, we don't have. So we depend on a body who do not, or structure who do not have a vested interest at heart or at hand. How dare I feel comfortable to eat from those who are my spiritual enemy? Not my physical, because they don't come that way. them entrap our thoughts. Them deal with our humanity and our humility. And by the time I find myself broke down, I start critically analyzing what I perceive that have been done to me or been dealt to me. The game is over. One don't play poker like that. You done last, man. You had to get up and go about your business and don't venture again. It's good to analyze it, but why were you in that competition in the first place? The only competition that I perceive that man should be in is a spiritual and moral competition with God. Because of God who gave away the life, He lent us the life. And we want to satisfy that life. That's my take. So striving for human excellence is Islam. Not human degradation, It's Islam. So Her Majesty and their administration, the British, the Europeans, them good at sympathy. Why is they projecting their mythologies? Very good at it. Extraordinarily, extremely good at it. And since I'm saying I can recognize that, may I say it for people them to say, yo, here what? Let me turn a new page. And this is not a book. This is metaphorical speaking. It's not a book. Let me just leave that alone, or whatever it is alone, and seek spiritual and moral guidance. And the only place, brothers and sisters, people out there, that you can get this with clearness, 100%, is Islam. I am not telling someone, come follow me, I'm going to be your guru. No. Just grab up the Quran and read it for yourselves. I'm not going to say read this part and that part and it will say, no, none of that. This is not the Gospels. This is not the mythologies of what we were all confused within. No. Pick it up. It's there in English. We're using the English Queen's King's language. Read it. And when you start get frightened about something, it is reminding us that we shouldn't do that. It's telling us Do this. Because the Quran is full of do's and don'ts. So if you want to be a sincere, honest, moral man, read it. If you want to be a sincere, fruitful, loving, cherishing woman that brings forth life in this dunya, this earth, read it. Don't compare it with nothing. Just read it. When you don't read it, then you can start compare. If it's required of your mind. But you see, when you're dealing with Al-Islam, it's about living. It's not about grabbing up something and say, yeah, me understand that, no, me I work. No, it's about living every second. It's a way of life. It governs your going out and coming in. It governs your emotion, governs your thoughts, governs our action. There's no room for mythologies. There's no room. Science is there. Physics is there. Astronomy is there. But it's not myths. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us as human beings, have a look. Examine it for yourselves. Whatever we're venture or we're curious about, Allah says, take a look. See? So it could be a person that is inquisitive about this earth, how it produces all of these things, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know, you know. He wants us to be curious about it. He wants us to invest our time within it, because that's how we live. But somebody else don't want that. They want to be the custodian of the earth. And when them can't get what they want, them just war you and beat you up and everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never tells us to do it that way. You understand? Never tell us to do it this way. Because we give ourselves nothing, you know. It's through our curiosities and following His guidance that we get the benefit out of this earth. Food, clothes and shelter, great water, clean oxygen. Yeah. Which man give with that? And stop it. Don't talk about some man that got supermarket and all of them something there. That's a big man that to do something good, and a woman. That's a big people that do something good. But if they were like Yusuf alayhi salam, then we won't have all these food problems. But they're greedy, see? It also produce more than they want, and instead of give the people them who don't have those things that they say they don't want because they don't look a particular way, they dash them. That's a bad, ungrateful human being. So Islam have a lot for a person to comprehend. So you have to taste it yourself. It's not something about having a reason and a big argument and comparing the New Testament with no. That is part of the whole sympathy thing that the mythologist uses and keep you away and keep me from you and everything. And the fact is, we want mental discipline. Mental discipline. That's it. And Al-Islam brings that to the table. But when I institute it to anybody, we just guide the person, like me I say now, to it. And the only person, or any person that's enslaved, is you enslave yourself to Allah, not to no other man, not to no organization and no groupie. That don't work over here. Doesn't. Because we're still speaking about balance, you know. And why I keep dropping the spirituality is because there's a lot of groups that are non-Muslim are coming at this angle. But they want to tell you something about Kemet, this, that, and so forth, and put all of these things in their mythologies and a contest that this is the only way. Spirituality, yeah. But it not wrap up in disobedient children. Pharaoh and his people, all them people that came it, they were disobedient. If they were not disobedient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't chastise them. Can't you all understand this? You think some man govern this thing? A man he's given a piece of rope, a string. See how far I'm going to stretch. And some of us are so hard ears. And that's the truth, a truth of Kemet and any other nations that somebody can regurgitate with their allegories that was on this earth. And it's a symbolic gesture that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left on the earth. So the believers, the sincere believers in him, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all doubters, every human being can see. Not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have crashed that. Because everything else is being crashed. And he left it there for us to see that there were generations before us on this earth that strive for goodness. And then them switch. What's this to do with Elizabeth and mythology? It's mythology. The peoples come out because England was a big boss, the British Empire, and them had a monarchy. And she reigned for 70 odd years and expand and maintain their position in this earth. So even though they weren't around, they know their history and they're nationalists and they're proud of their country. So would I be. They're proud of their country. They're proud of what their country has accomplished. But true, no one have told them, like I said before, what that entailed. And to tell them no, metaphorically, is a bit late. It's too late. No, it's a bit late. And to speak about her more and more and more is also late because she's not here. So in relation to Islamic credence, we have to say, alhamdulillah, and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal with that. So that's what I'm saying. Kemet, Egypt, all those great things that one can see, they were also disobedient. That's why everything fell. But the Nile did not commit a crime. The Nile did not defile Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Nile is still here. The river Nile is still here. And with all the pollution that man has created, the Nile still exists. It washes it up and it spews it out. Oh yes, just like human being. Huh? It vomits and it cleanses itself and it continues. Now America, along with the same Egypt, want to put constraints on Sudan and Ethiopia, using the Nile as a power broker. This is the earth that we're living within. This is not mythology. This is man and his greed and his lustful appetite for power. But does that hurt the Muslims? No, it doesn't. We are aware. It doesn't hurt us. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his earth. And he will, Allah, and I'm saying he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will deal with those people, whoever they are. What we have to do is live nobly, justly, and humbly. Simple things. Yes, so simple. So, black woman and child, know yourself and stop lusting for evil and stop lusting for material things. Because guess what? All the property that this woman, Elizabeth II, that was in her name, whatever you want to call it, she's a custodian of. Which one of them, or how much of them, and the millions or billions of pounds and dollars and rand and everything on this earth, the monetary list on this earth, she have a portion of it now. Yeah. Whether it's the Chinese yin and she has a portion. Huh? How much of that she could have take with her? How much of all of that she could have said, yo, here I'm not ready for dead yet now. And get a sustainment. No. So Buckingham Palace, all these things are here, mate. Ain't going nowhere. Unless the people them have a revolt and them just make poor people and every people go there and have a bedroom. Yeah, people them have hundreds of rooms. And there are people in England that live outside on the street in the first world capital of the earth and everything. People that live on the street, people on cardboard and what have you. Not just summer, you know, so don't get it twisted. Winter and everywhere. And them never take the sympathy and bring the people them in, you know, and say, yo, here what? We have so much room. Come. We can take 100 or 200 on us, so God save the rest of you. It never happened. And it will not happen. The people them seriously dangerous. Huh? Our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may I tell you, man, that would never have to be talked about. It would never be there in the first place. You understand? The person who's next door to him, he must know if that person has ate yet or is able to eat before him eat. So don't bother with it with us. We're too good. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I tell you no. It's real. It's a real thing. No mythology attached to it. And him no want nothing from you. And his Sahabis no want nothing from you either. They don't want no tiding. No. Them not take you and give some good talk and them send the bucket round or the pail round or the plate round and collect some money. No, no, no. And they're not looking at your wife and decide that them got, hey, listen here. Come on home, people. Come on home. Investigate Al-Islam. And we're not taught Nation of Islam. Please do not do that. Do not do that. That one there is the warriors. You know what I mean? They're the armed forces. But we're taught Islam, Al-Islam. We're not taught the Nation of Islam. They're the warriors. You see? Them they're supposed to set a standard so when we get brutalized or it seemed that we will get brutalized or there's some brutality take place, them supposed to come and armstrong the people them. Arms house them. You know? Put them in check. Make them know say don't bother with it again. You understand? Because we have some strong arm man them about the place. And them well disciplined. And they're physically and mentally well-minded to deal with all kind of ruckus. That's what they are to me. They're not from the Sunnah of Muhammad, peace and blessing upon the Prophet of Al-Islam. That one they're talking about is Elijah Muhammad. And he's not no disciple or prophet of God. He's a human being like our prophet, and he's a human being like me, but he wasn't given no revelation. Stop it. His contribution, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will deal with it. Malachi Shabazz come out of that school. Huh? But Malachi Shabazz became a follower of the righteous and the seal of the prophets. Melik El Shabazz, otherwise known as Al-Haji Malachi Shabazz, Al-Mawali, otherwise known as Malcolm X. You see all them names in my very significant. So we're going back to the mythology, so we need to validate that and make sure that we stay away from them things. We stay away from them things. Because the parting of the ways with us black people, African Caribbean people in the diaspora, is this mythology. It's this Jesus thing. It's this Bible thing. It's this King James thing, and so forth and so forth. You understand? And we all want to live a good life. And we are saying that human excellence is our accomplishments. So if you study something, you be a bachelor degree, a PhD, a GCSE, or A-level, allow that. You can still do it, but the greater one you want is the certificate of human excellence. Because that's what God gives to us all. He awards us that. So back to Elizabeth, because I hit round and about, I play cricket and rugby and football. Elizabeth administration control a place called the Privy Council. And they have another place called Chatham House, and they have various other offices within the administration that the monarchy is head over. So it's very difficult to just single out Elizabeth and say Elizabeth did this, Elizabeth did that. Elizabeth did not ask for the atrocities in Kenya to be halted. She didn't. No country that I know. She didn't do that. She signed a paper from one of my brethren to get hanged. It was brought to her attention. She don't know about it and everything. And she got so involved in it because she refused him to return back to England. It didn't go to Parliament. It didn't go to the government of the day. It went to her. And she allowed the cameras in. And she felt very good to sit there and sign the documentation that he should not be extradited back to England and he should be hanged. Case done. But she never do them something there in Africa. And she never apologized to us and never give us repatriation, reparation and repatriation. She never do that for us. She never insist that we were taken back to the continent where her ancestors them and fellow men and women took us from. She never insisted on paying us out for all the hard work that we've done on those plantations and all the cotton and all the potatoes and all the sugar and all the rum and all the molasses that we have given this country. She didn't do that. And she resided over all of that. I was alive. And well, give thanks to Almighty Allah. I'm still here. But I was alive. So I knew. They used to make my sisters them kirk seat to her and her sister and her mother. Oh yeah. We don't have great clothes every day. But we have clean clothes and we have crisp clothes to go to church on Sunday. But Her Majesty Elizabeth, her mother is coming, or Margaret is coming. And all of a sudden, because they might come our district or our school or something of that nature, or they choose so much children to line up the airport or the roadway, and we have to have new clothes. And our parents don't have this money. And the bloody government of the day forced them So that means 1 week we not eat, that household not eat proper. Because we must have a new cakey pants, shoes and socks and tie and shirt to just line up along the road. Why is this vehicle or horse and buggy pass through? I experienced that myself. Now, but me not tell people something that me not live. Okay. So that's Elizabeth. Now this Privy Council, they are controlling, they're the overseers of all the administration in Africa and the Caribbean. You cannot fight without them granting you permission. Yes, you have to hold it and make it come out soft. And God help you if it stink and them can't smell it, you're in a trouble. So we have that. Them have that all over the place. And yet still, we had to pass an exam that they would award us independence. They were lying. They made us dependent because those people who they chose after for the exam and they awarded them a pass, them say, yo, you can become judge, you all can become prime minister, and so forth. So you see, the symbol of all these nations is the replica of England. So anytime them find a certain issue, them can't think for themselves. Them have to ask England, the Privy Council. And why it come here is because it's a drastic measure. Because the Governor General has an office, or there's an office called the Governor General in all these countries, backed by the ambassador. So the champion of fighting that was Mugabe. Mugabe wouldn't give up an inch on all of these institutions, you know. The rest of them did. Mugabe wouldn't. So that's another story, because a lot of people understand the whole Mugabe journey, you know. Mugabe had deal with the law. Mugabe had deal with the fact that we know why nobody will come tell him or tell Africa when to shit or when to wee and when to dream. No. And he was educated by them also. And he was spiritually educated by them also. Because he was allegedly them say he was a Catholic. But he had a moral head. He had an African mind, a determined mind. He had mental discipline, which many of us are lacking. Mugabe, Robert Mugabe. And you see all them people, them twist up her name too. Because at least him have Mugabe, where him get Robert from? And it's not him give himself that, you know. He must know him family, how they adjust the thing. And even my hero, Nkrumah. Nkrumah was a very intelligent man. But mythology got him, and white superiority and black inferiority got him. Because him side with that side, thinking that that's how him gonna get certain things done. We call those people Rufuses. You know, sometimes something does happen, but it only happens for the minute. And then a longevity. But he was a very intelligent man. Yeah. Nkrumah of Ghana. Yeah, man. So now we'll go home and we'll look at mythology with the Bobo man them. How can a person validate themselves by using the mythology of the Bible and the Jesus to characterize or character assassinate themselves? And I tell somebody or people, a group of people, number of people, a lot of people that they know the Jesus Christ on earth. You know what that is about? You follow the white man's mythology. The white man theological mythology. And then you go convince ourselves that that's what has happened to you. And we lap it up because you say, had it in a dream. But then it's crowned off the dream by saying, His Majesty is who unravel the dream to you. Now you have people here, young men and women, that are accepting that hook, line, and sink. This is 21st century now. This is not the 19th century. Serious thing. We have lost that plot. We have to move away from these idiotic things. Trust me. We find so that many of our young people them know have figure out how England operate. And we are say that as a Muslim, it's not about how England operate. It's about how we as a people appreciate each other. Appreciate each other. You know? And for those who say, you say you're a Muslim, you play music. Me I play music for you all. Me not play music for myself. Me I play music like me I play like a man out there say him I read Proverbs, I am a read Psalms, you know? Yeah. Few weeks ago me play my New Testament of music where we went into the New Testament of the Bible. So me I go get one tune and now while me look for the rest of them. And this one tune is Proverb by the Mighty Diamonds, to whom we will miss forever and ever because of badness. So hold this.
A wise man is strong, he's a man of knowledge. His wisdom is too high for a fool. Open up his mouth in evil places, but leave all vengeance on the just. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
See, so when people buck upon me, you know, me not play the dutchie. Me play past the knowledge. You understand? I will give you Proverbs. And an idiotic DJ about here. We teach people. People not teach we. You understand? And Islam is my life and my death. So anyone who want to buck it up, come follow it, man. You know what I mean? Not even bother follow. Come live it. Al-Islam. It's sweet. It's sweet that it can't sweet no more. You understand? And we'll tell you because we can tell you. When I beg you, we'll tell you. Because I live, we live it. Yeah, my wife I come. Hold up, man. I have to show her say that me rule. Yeah, Marcia. Yeah, I have a sister in here called Marcia, you know, Marcia. Marcia, me want married Marcia, but Marcia going too difficult sometimes. But she's the best thing. Yeah, hold on. So, people, may I tell you the truth? I always tell you the truth. Why if you listen to this tune here now? Seriously, why listen to this tune here? Listen to this tune here well. and go and support this tune, you know. Seriously. Listen the tune well. You understand? With both ears. Listen it well. Everything me just start about. And then we went round a circle and come back and keep circulating and come back and like me get stuck in a groove. Listen it well. Both ears.
Why are we so blind? Because we ain't got no vision. Why are we so gullible? Don't make our own decisions. Why are we so dunce? Even though we are educated. Why are we so horrible? Why? It's unbearable. Why are we so selfish? Obviously we don't care. Why are we so critical? Sometimes it makes me scared. Why are we so weak? Always selling ourselves cheap. Why are we so conscious?
So go out there, so spend the money. Make sure it's your money. You understand? Legal tender. And support Bugle. See? We don't come here and play gal music or lyric. You understand? Seriously. And there's some artists that I am definitely avoiding at this present time until until they make it known which side of the fence them dip on, because too much things are going. You understand? Seriously, too much things are going. Now listen to this tune here.
He never faced me yet.
I mean, I tell you now, listen the tune. George Storybook, nursery rhyme, nooks.
He never faced me yet. No, no. Lord of mercy. Everywhere I go, I want the world to know that Jesus never faced me yet. Yeah. I can take disappointment and I can deal with regret, but I never had a problem that got the better of me yet. I've been through many heartaches, bounced back from pain. No matter how you try to bring me down, God knows I'll rise again. Don't bother worry, do no bother fret. Almighty God, He never faced me yet.
See, I tell you, man, you want to see my mother, you know? My mother just jump around. Here come Marcia, you know, our sweet little baby girls, them about the place. Listen this. Tell your husband, you know. See, listen good, you know. A reggae music this. Listen good.
Slander my name, hear them bark, trying to make them mark. But I'm ahead of the game. Girl, as long as you feel me the way you say you do, right. Cause every time they say we want to come on them mind, let them talk, let them talk. Yeah. Let them slander my name. Go teachers bar and my skylark, and put themselves to shame. Now get my lady. Can't get my when they are around me, just to read up the Bible. But when they are away from me, I want popping a rifle, trying to take away my only life. My beautiful woman, my intelligent woman, she a bad them with her beauty. So the hypocrites are deaf on duty. Let them talk, let them talk, let them slander my name. I hear them roar, trying to make their mark, but I'm ahead of the game.
See, Marcia feel sweet, you know. I tell you, man. Now, Blue Girl had a new lick, you know. So listen this piece, and then we're gone.
Done black entertainment, struggling on a life for real. Those who know the drill, struggling on a life for real. Yes, it's real. You want to no fighter if you give up the fight. 10 times 10 wrong, never been right. Knowledge is not about age and height. Survival of the key, you have to be brave and bright. Same game, blame game, finger and point. If some get a chance, them burn your line giants. Once they get a chance, they'll be coming at you. I could have early in the morning or late at night. So push them, don't let them push you. No matter why you don't push you. Either rider, you gotta feel like you is a survivor. Oh boy, push them, don't let them push you. No matter where society put you. Either rider, you gotta feel like you is a survivor. Yes, me just figure out every race I rap.
Him name what? Bugle. See? Support him, and that new tune, that tune him put out this, that me play early, a tune there, number one, you know. It can only go number one if people support it. You see? When you see the video, it gonna hurt your feeling, me I tell you. It just stand up in your chest. So we want big bad tune on my age group. So we say guidance, we're gone. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gone. So people, please, we have a program online called Front Room. It look like Facebook. I don't even want to call the people them name. But it's called Front Room. Look at it, type it in, Front Room link, and subscribe to it. And I mean subscribe to it by mean become a member. It's about making us a community in the diaspora. It's about promoting and helping and encouraging and motivating all those people who have intention to set up their business, or to teach, or to help with institution, or to help with their food. Even our legal administration, we need people that are brave, not the people who come and go and get and pass them law degree and everything. We want them to be brave because they need to set up office and they need to attend the courts so you can get experience. You understand? And then challenge the institutions, the fraternity of law, whether it's metropolitan or national education institution or whatever. Wherever the issues are, you understand? And Front Room. So you go in Front Room, you see, say that whole heap of people, man. Me dead, me bigger on Front Room now. Me bigger on Front Room than me dey on my own station. You understand? Because I put up educational forum on Front Room worldwide. So check it out, people, right? And you know, say we are called September now, we go October, and we want the world to change from Black history to African history. So on that same page, Front Room, you will see that me already sell it as African history. Me I play a tune already That's gonna be that has been one of my feature tune, rhythm track by Don Carlos, Black History. You see? So it's a whole heap of thing. So everybody must go there and do their thing and see what other people are doing as well, and make acquaintance with people all across the world. You understand? No, before me play my bad tune, I have to play Bushman. Listen this. Lyrics.
I'd bury my grave, boy. Rather die as a brave for liberty. Terrible in a diggity, and but I not be them slave. Terrible in a diggity, and but I rather die as a brave. When you see the buckle, you have to go over evil. And the devil me a trample, evil get dismantled. And I see me a praise. Lengthen out thy days. I and I gaze. Now I been give fire start to blaze. Eden start to raise.
See, a youth then name Bushman. See? Yeah, man. Out of my New Testament. Yeah, of sound, reggae sounds. So here come the peanut vendor. Listen, Dean Fraser. And then we're gone. And Marcia. Yeah, you want to see Marcia and Aisha, you know. I tell you, man, I have to get up and go dance with them. Come! You want to see me, mama? I tell you no, man. You want to see me, mama? My mama just love them. Hey, mama love them style, you know. I tell you. Yes, guidance, you gone. Now here comes the original start. It would never break your heart apart. False start. Come. Do it. Yeah, you must know I say already me love hands, you know. I tell you, I love them to my backbone, I tell you. Now here comes the original start. It would never tear your heart apart. And it happened to be a real false start. Come! A 70s music, you know. Early 70s. Clyde Chin. Yes, people. So you see, Al-Islam no, Al-Islam is not a joke thing. Al-Islam is a serious thing. So you just take it, make good use of it, institute it in your life, institute it in your home, institute it with your children, and you see the fruits. You see the fruits. It's sweet. Anybody who sows seed knows that they must reap. The person don't go sow one seed, because that one they might be dry, extremely dry. So it not go germinate. You understand? So don't get something twisted around here and use your intellectual capacity to say, nah, you got it wrong. Nah, you have to try the thing out. You know what I mean? Try it out. Not a short measure, You see, when people that deal with athletics, them deal with all sprinting. Nah. Me like marathon. It's a long journey. A long journey. You learn how to be patient, tolerant, fit. You understand? And you have to be a good pacemaker. And you understand? Control the journey at your own pace, your own ledger. You see? That's Al-Islam. It's not 100 meter dash or 200 meter. Nah. Long journey. You understand? So you have to institute yourself, your husband, your wife, and your children. And the place where you live, you govern that. You govern that proper. You understand? So the spirituality is charged all the time, not sometime, all the time. See? And humility, yeah. The value of trust and sincerity. The sweetness of the word that we use called love. You can see it manifest in your everyday doings and going. You know what I mean? Some people that talk about love, they might deal with some affectionate thing, they might deal with some kissy thing, and no, star, come on, man. Understand? It comes like when you see the tree, them, and the blossom, them just come and you know it's a spring. You understand? But this one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give away, it's all round. It don't have one season, You see? That season there is until our innings is up. So when we check life, you have to ask yourself, what is it? Some people look at life as material things, The more them can accumulate and them say, yo, that's it. And that's how this society has educated us and influenced us. So we think say we need to accumulate a whole heap of things, and the whole objective is to have these things and feel happy and everything else. But we not live. We accumulate. We accumulate. Yes, those things, When you see a Muslim, they live a simple life. Simple. But you see them heart huge. And contentment, wicked. Yeah, must be contented. You understand? The key thing to Al-Islam, my dear brothers and sisters and anyone who are listening, is to have the thing we call sabr, patience. That's the key. You understand? Patience. Because when you have patience, you can be tolerant, can be obedient, can be well disciplined, well refined. Patience. Yeah. You don't need a guru for that. You need to accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's teaching. That's what I've figured out. See? Patience. And the whole thing about the balance of life is patience. Because everything that a human being needs, God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty has awarded us all those things. Yes, everything that we want and anything that we want, God has awarded us all that. And even give we more than we want, than we can imagine. And it does test us too. Because some of us greedy. And it will test us. So life, is it all about possessions and conquering? Nah, I don't think so. So what I'm saying now is look at the mythology of the royal family of this country and all the wealth and riches, and none of that could have retained her presence with us in this earth alive, and none of it is going to be beneficial on that journey back home to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. And whatever she has contributed to here is between her and our Maker, God Almighty. Simple. All of us. So now we have to turn our attention on Charles III. So we will come back sometime on reflection and look at Charles I and Charles II. You understand? And something I was trying to figure out. These people, them have names. And we don't know them name, you know. Them give it a name. Them publicize a title. And we don't know them name. Just like we Africans don't know our names. So when we say Elizabeth, what is her name? What is her mother name? Her mother name is Elizabeth too. So what is their name? What is their name? You see? I don't know their name. Marcia, we don't know them name. I know where I say name. We're going to give Pablo Moses the bad way them treat us and them deal with us. So people who come to Islam and everything, just like Melika Shabazz, Alma Wali, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad said, listen, drop that surname that belonged to some enslaver and just throw the X there until such time. So we such time now, we know the Abdullahs, we know the Mohammeds, yeah, we know the Khalids and everything. We know a whole heap of African names, Islamic names and things, and we choose a name. We're not disregarding and disrespecting our fathers, but we can't keep the name. We don't want to keep the name of our oppressor. We want a name that is free, that will mentally free us up. You understand? So I don't know about the next person, but you understand? Maybe you would think the same way. I don't know. It's up to you. But when you have a name, choose a name that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to the Prophet to bring to this earth, you know, say that name, and even African names, they're essential. They have meanings. They have significance. And you live accordingly. Because how can I have a name and I want to abuse the name? I may have a title and then I go abuse my title. And dishonor my mother and my father. No, that's not right. You understand? And then I have to look at myself and say, wait, God send them name down to this earth, you know. See? But then I have to look upon my mother and say, yo, I love my mother, you know. So how can I say me love her and dishonor her? And my father is my anchor. Am I dishonor him? No, star. That don't. Hey, something wrong with that reasoning where people just go violate them something and you go court and on the wall that might have best such and such for thieving, raping. No, star. That not nice. So all this, Marcia, we're gone for real.
Take off your name and divide the I name. I and I don't want your name. Chinese name Chin and Chung. Macintosh came from Scotland. my dreams I name Morris, because the name I have is for a European, not the name of a black African. So take back your name and leave I the I name. I don't want this your name. Chinese name Chin and Chong. Macintosh came from Scotland. Indian name Raja and Gavaskar. I'm unsure Smith no come from Africa, oh no. You say what I say, oh no. My brothers and sisters, no. Oh, oh no. It was given to I by you, the Babylonians. It was not I wish to accept it. I was forced by you to use it. So take back your name and leave I the I name. I don't want this your name. Chinese name Chin and Chong. Macintosh came from Scotland. Indian name Raja and Gavaskar. I'm unsure Smith no come from Africa, oh no. You hear what I say, oh no. My brothers and sisters, no. Whoa, 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 no. This name no come from Africa, no. No, no, no. No, 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 no.
See it there? Guidance. Watch Aisha. Mashallah. So we gone. Give thanks.